No, God. I don't know. These are words in Yiddish. I didn't know they translated to German. We're here in Albania. Some German speakers, but they did. Okay, so this is what it means. Is it German or Austrian, or it's the same thing? Okay, the shafter could mean a guy working on a train, and it could mean God. It means the creator. So we have both of those shot in. It's cool to see like how Yiddish, they were wondering like how I like understood a little bit of what we were able to talk a little bit.
Yo, I'm wondering if there is a etymological shteg, like you would say, between the train worker being a conductor, like the conductor of the universe.
Well, I think Beshafter means like creator. And like, so like they're creating a train. Beshafter, yeah. Okay. Zak the Heilige Gemara veiter. We had a little break to learn a little Yiddish. It's important to know Yiddish, especially the words that are nogeya to learning Gemara, because there are words in Yiddish that were made that were conceived whilst they were learning. So they're like very special words like bavorn. We'll get to that if we get to that. Rabbi Chama, Rabbi Chanina, Rami. So Rabbi Chama, the son of Rabbi Chanina, asks the contradiction. He says, Ksiv, it's written, Chema ainli. God says, I have no anger. Vichsiv, no came adainai ubal chema. So one pasuk in the Heilige Torah in Yeshayahu says, Chema ainli. God says, I have no anger. Okay, and then we have a pasuk in Nachum, El Kanayv no came, Adonai no came, Uval Chema. So it's saying that God gets angry, right? You guys hear the contradiction? It's like straight up, like, does God get angry or not? So Lo Kajya. It says, hello, what's up?
It should be an interruption mission for the video call.
Yeah, what's going on?
Because we would like to talk to you. Jakob would like to talk to you.
Yeah.
No, but you're talking
I'm in the
to
middle
your
of class.
video. Really?
Yeah, say hi.
Sorry.
Hi.
It's okay. We can talk
Hello.
after. Yeah. Okay. Is that cool? So one verse says that God gets angry, and one verse says God doesn't get angry. This is the kind of thing that the Talmud does. Sometimes it seems like two psukim. It seems like
Sorry,
two. It's okay. Everything's good. So you have two verses. One says God gets angry. One says God doesn't get angry. So we have to resolve the contradiction, right? So we say Lo Kashya, Kan be Israel. This is talking about the Israelites. Kan be Ovdei Kochavim. This is talking about the idolaters. And we said this is not just, a lot of times people think that like when it says idolaters, they use it interchangeably with like not Jewish. But that's not the case. The case is like the actual idolaters, the shibud, the pagans, the child rapers and sacrificers and blood drinkers. That's what we're talking about over here. So yeah, God gets angry at them, but never at the Israelites. Rabbi Chinina bar Papa Amar. Rabbi Chinina bar Papa says, Chema ainli shekvar nishbati. So he says, really, God doesn't have anger. Why? Because I already swore, mi itneni shalom nishbati. He's like, oh man, like I wish, like at the end of the pasuk, mi itneni shalom nishbati, eye shamir v'shayis. Shteig, you want to look up that pasuk in Yeshayahu?
Yeah, what paragraph?
Chav Zayin Daled. It says Chema Ainli Yitne Mi Yitneni. First of all, it's an amazing rhyme. Chema Ainli Mi Yitneni. And it says Shamir Vishayis. A Shamir is like a worm, and a Shayis is like a goat or something. Bamilchama F Abba, right? Like I will like sigh. Atzitena Yachad.
I got it.
I'm blaming on the exact translation of this
I got
verse.
the pasuk. You want me to?
All right, hit us, Legs, hit us.
There is no anger in me. If one offers me thorns and thistles, I will march to battle.
Thistles.
I will march to battle against him and set all of them on fire.
Oh, Atzitena Yachad, on fire together. Oh, all the thorns and the thistles. Oh, by the way, on the before the last thing, before we get to the thistles, we were saying that like the anger. So one answer was that, yeah, it says God gets angry and God doesn't get angry. One answer is that he gets angry at the idolaters, but not the Israelites. Another answer is that no, God does get angry at the Israelites. They're both talking about Israel. Amar Rabbi Acha Bar Chinina Amar. Rabbi Acha Bar Chinina says, Tarvayu be Israel. Both of them talking about the Israelites. V'hali Gamar, here's what it's saying. Afal pi shebal chema ani. Even though really like I could get angry at him saying, chema ainli, but I don't. He's like, yeah, I could get angry, which actually makes sense according to what we know from Parshas Bala, that that Bilam knew the moment, right? The Gemara in Brachos, that Bilam Yud Beis, I don't know, maybe blind, but that Bilam knew the exact moment that God got angry every day. So like God does get angry. So he's saying, yeah, but he already made a promise that I'm not going to get angry at the Israelites. So really God's nature is that he could get angry at us, but he already made a promise. What's he going to do? Shamir Vishayis, Rashi says, so Mid Nani, it's the Hechav, the safe of the cross. So that we said, this is the continuation of the pasuk that we started darshaning about anger, right? Chema Ainli. And so now they're continuing darshaning that same pasuk. And it says, Mid Nani, so who's going to give me? Shamir Vishayis, this is Lashon Eretz, Gezerah V'chorban, the Dugmaso, Haseis V'hashever. Oh, saying what is shis? So Shamir V'shayis is like is destruction, right? So who will give me destruction? Who will give me Shamir V'shayis? Oh, like my anger is going to be destroyed because who will give me to be angry? I can't get angry because I already made that promise. So Rav Chinina Bar Abba, his pshat was like, oh, I'll say a different pshat. And it's not just like, oh, we have two pshatim. I was like, my pshat actually stands, makes sense with the seif of the crow at the end of the pasuk. Okay. Behind the Amar Rabbi Alexandri, very interesting name for a rabbi, Rabbi Alexandri, right? He says, Rabbi Alexandri says, what does it mean when it says, V'haya b'yomahu evakesh lashmid es kol hagayim? And it was that time I will want to destroy all of the nations. Evakesh me. Asks the Gemara, Amora de Kasha, who am I going to ask from? Evakesh me. Like God has to ask permission? What's going on? Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, Evakesh benigni shelahem. So God just dropped the N-word on us. No, the N-word, but the N-word here is nigni. We have to see what exactly a nigni is. Evakesh benigni shelahem. I'm going to ask there something, right? And right now we're blibing, and it's okay. It's okay to read some Gemara. I don't know what that word is. Okay, let's see a little bit more. Maybe we can figure it out. You know, sometimes people like can't. It's like if they don't know it, like I have to go to art scroll. Right? Evakesh benigni. I'm going to ask benigni. So nigni, couldn't nigni be their players, like Linagen, maybe? Evakesh benigni shalem. So if they have a schus epadem, I will redeem them. The imlav ashmidem. right? If not, I'm going to destroy them. So it's not that all the nations are the same. It's totally if they have a schus. And Javier, we learned a few days ago. Omora de Kazakh, Patricio could attest that we learned this a few days ago, that an Oved Kochavim, like an idolater, She'osek b'Torah, that learns Torah, Harehu Kohen Gadol. He's like a Kohen Gadol. It's in Avodah Zarah Daf Gimel. Now we're on Daf Dalet. It's Gimel and Aleph. Omor de Gemara.
So
Remember that? Yeah.
an idolater is like a Kohen
Yeah.
Gadol. How is this?
It's wild, but we learned that a few days ago, and we're still blibing. But I'm interested in hearing Pshatim, and if anyone has an understanding why specifically like a Kohen Gadol. But here it says another thing which is similar. Here it says like the first it said that God's going to ask to destroy all the nations. Like, wait a second, God, if you want to destroy the nation, then just destroy the nations. Why you got to ask? He's like, no, I'm going to ask their nigni. Okay, so nigni, it could be like they're like angels, they're ministers, you know. The nigni, Rashi says, "B'sefer zikaron ma'aseim," in the book of memory of their actions. I'm going to ask in their book. I'm going to check it out. And it says, Hainu da Amar Rav Avzandri, Rashi says, Adela El Kaish HaKadosh Baruch Hu, She'ein HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ba B'Turania Im Abrios. So the Gemara says, when the Gemara over here says, that, it was like what Rav Alexandri said, it's going way back to like either yesterday or 2 days ago, that we've learned that God doesn't come with tricks against his creations. He's not trying to stare people. You guys know the word stare? Stare.
No, I'm
Nine?
not familiar with that term.
Stare is like to mess up. To stare. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, no, but I always check, especially when I'm when I have to discuss to be in the proximity of Germans. I always ask them, and I'm learning Gemara near them, and like all these yeshivish words are coming out. It's like an excellent opportunity for me to do some etymological digging and learning, you know. So anyways, so God doesn't come with Turunios. How could it say that God's going to come and destroy all of the nations, right? So he says no. It's like, I'm going to ask. It's good. Everything's good. Do you have something to say? Do you have a comment? No, you could if you want. You're totally with us in this class. We're very honored to have you. Okay, but if you have any comments, don't feel shy. So it says that God's going to look in the Sefer Maaseh. He's going to look and see what they're up to. So my question over here is, what's the chiddush? Like, yeah, what do we expect? That God's not going to be a fair judge? You know? Yeah, Schlegs.
I don't know. It's a good kasha.
It's a good kasha. Okay, yo, dude, thanks for getting on the call and on the shteig and saying that it's a great kasha. It's very geschmack to appreciate a kasha. It's a big madrega to appreciate a question.
That means question?
A kasha is a question, yes.
Okay.
Patricio.
Can you rephrase the kasha? What's the kasha exactly?
So the kasha is that we're saying that God doesn't. Okay, so we're saying that God doesn't like stare and mess up and trick and punish any of his creations, right? So we ask the question, wait a second, we say that God's going to ask to kill all of the nations? And we say no. And the fact that he's going to ask, we see that it's only going to be if they're actually, God's going to look at their actions and see if they have like merit to live or not. And Gemara's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. My question is, why does that make sense? That's like what I would have thought from the beginning. If there was none of that Gemara, that's what I would have thought the situation was. Like, what's the chiddush? What's the innovation over here?
What's this pasuk coming? What's this pasuk coming off of?
And what's the Gemara teaching me darshaning this pasuk? Like, it's obvious to me that God is going to be a fair judge, you know. And it's
maybe reassuring us Maybe the Gemara is reassuring us because Avodah Zarah is a serious business, but still.
Ah,
Does the
saying like
Talmud
this.
want to reassure us?
I like it. I like it, Javier. You're saying like this. You're saying, Hanami, that it's obvious for Yidden, it's obvious for Israelites, it's even obvious for Goyim, for the nations, but for the idolaters. But here it says, Avakesh Lashmiras Kol HaGoyim, which is ostensibly like also the idolaters, also not.
Well, it's coming off of talking about the kasha about Hashem being angry, right? And now it's talking about
no. So Rashi says that the chiddush is that it's the thing that's stamming off of Rashi says is that Adila, Rashi says v'hainu derevi Alexandri Adila Elkai de'ena Kadosh Baruch Hu ba b'turania ima brios. He's not coming to like stare all the nations or his creations. He's not coming, right? And the reason that Rashi has to say that is because I also would have thought that it's like continuation of what was just before. But we're saying like, what's the chiddush? What's the innovation? Javier has a good shot. We'll go with Javier's shot. But we're dealing with we're talking about like Ovdei Avodah Zarah, and you might have thought that like Ovdei Avodah Zarah, like maybe it's a different case, and like, right, we did say that he had anger, so maybe like he wouldn't be a fair judge because he was so angry. Comes the Heilige Gemara and says always a fair judge.
That sounds like a good shot.
Yeah, that's Javier's shot. I was just talking it out.
Nice job, Javier.
Okay. Behind the Amar Rava Ma'idich Siv. Wait, hold on. So if they have a schus, I'm gonna redeem them, and if not, I'm gonna destroy them. Behind the Amar Rava, and this is like what Rava says. Ma'idich Siv. What's pshat in the pasuk? Ach lo bai yishalach yad im bepido lahen shua. A pasuk in ach lo ba yishalach yad im bepido. So I don't need to send my hand if bepido. It's not talking about like Jeffrey Epstein, like Jocelyn Maxwell, like the entire like media and Hollywood.
Right.
In bepido it's not talking about that. Bepido is like podeh, to redeem. Bepido shalahem shua. Okay, Patricio, can you look up Job 30:24 for us and give us the English, please?
Yeah.
All right. So in bepido lahem shua. So what's the Gemara saying? So there are a few words that I would want to see the English translation or the Hebrew translation, but for now, like Rashi, see Rashi, but the Rashi. So what does it mean? This pasuk, bepido lahen shua, amar lahen hakadosh baruch hu saying to Yisrael.
What was the chapter and verse?
30:24. Bepido lahem shua. So hold on, wait one second, Patricia. We're not ready yet. Just have it ready for when I ask. Okay.
All right, I've got it.
Amar lahem hakadosh baruch hu. So Hashem says to them, to Israel, to the Israelites, Kishani dan es Yisrael, when I judge the Israelites, ein ani dan osam ke'akum. I don't judge them like the idolaters. Tiksiv, Eva, asimena. Because it says Eva, asimena. Okay, Javier. Yecheskel 21:32. If you can look it up, if you're like by a computer, if not, like we can have someone else. But you got this, Javi? Okay, great. Just have it ready. We're not ready yet, but just have it open. Have it ready for when we're ready to look at the Gemara. Right?
So it says
what?
Yecheskel
21:32.
Got it.
Okay, you got it. Okay, but we're still blibing. Okay. Ella ani niframehem kipid shel tarnagolas. I collect from the idolaters like a pid, which by the way goes back to the pedo verse. So that's like what they're saying. Right? Like I just from the Israelites, maybe I only do like a little bit like a pid shel tarnagolas. Behind the Amar. Okay, so the Gemara says behind the Amar Rav, right? Before we go back to doing Chazah. Yo, Schligs, what are you learning? Schligs might not be here. Zoom user.
So we could do
Oh,
Chazah.
exactly. Good answer. So, so it says so now we're going through the Gemara again, but we're going to see it with Rashi this time. So when he says Hainu Nami the Amarava, and by the way, Rabosai, I know that you guys, I don't know if you guys have the Gemara in front of you, but Rashi adds the word Nami. So that's just a good deal. So Shekadosh Baruch Hu dan aklum bediktuk. God judges the idolaters with the idolaters really pedo. Really, like, where's the raya? Where's the remez? Sorry, this remez. Where's the remez? Because it says pedo. So where do we know that Hakadosh Baruch Hu is very, very, very like medactic with the judgment of the idolaters? So because it says not like the Israelites, they're not like the idolaters. This is Eva Ashmiena. So that's Javier's pasuk. Javier, can you say what your pasuk? Eva. It means to desire. I want to say.
Ava,
I got it.
Ava,
Desire.
Ava. A ruin, I will make it. This too will not be until he who has the judgment will come, and I will deliver it.
Excellent. So Eva is what?
Ava. A ruin, I will make it.
A ruin. Asiman, I will make it. Okay.
Yeah, this too will not be until he who has the judgment will come, and I will deliver him.
Very good. Okay, hold on. So that's Eva. So Rashi says Eva. It says Ivuta is like, in Ivut. I know what the lashon is. Okay, we could have seen Rashi, but like, okay, fine, listen. Shteig and da. Ivui in like miuvat is like a perversion, right? Ivta le'ava, and a perversion of a perversion, maybe asiman or destruction, right? I will make it. V'chein targum yainasan chovehon chavu b'chovehon. So it's their like sins, right? They sinned with their sins. It's para minhon, and I will collect from them. So he says, but that's not how I'm going to judge the Israelites. Ella, like a pid, right? What does it say? What's the pasuk? Patricio's pasuk. Okay, what was Patricio's pasuk?
Job 30. What was it? 24.
Yeah, Achlo bai yishalachah. He doesn't want to send his hand in bepido lahenshua. If I can save them.
Yeah, in English it says, surely he would not strike at a ruin if in calamity one cried out to him.
Okay. So here it's saying that if Jesus says lo bai, it means like not that he doesn't want to do it. So one verse says he wants to do it. That's what the Israelite. He doesn't want to do it. That's what the Israelite said. He doesn't want to do it, right? He wants him to cry out. But so then he says, and then it says kipido lahenshua. Patricio, how was the translation?
Surely he would not strike at a ruin if in calamity one cried out to him.
Hold on, that's not that.
Job 30:24.
Yeah. Okay, I think that it might be because I remember like the New Testament sometimes has like even when like it's the old. Where are you looking? Are you looking at Safaria?
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind. So that's the pasuk saying.
We're also at 10 minutes right now. Just to let
10
you
minutes left. Okay,
yeah.
Amazing. So it says kapid. So as she says, I'm like with them like a pid of a tarnagle. It says nikor, like the head of the chicken. Sheminakrim me'at. not the head of the chicken, but the cluck, not the cluck. When it's like digging in, clink, 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 right? When it's digging in, shmenaker me'at me'at, v'chein nifra mehen me'at me'at. So from the Israelites, it takes like a little, behester panim. Hester panim is like when it looks like God's not in the world. It looks like there is no Abishter or Beshafter. V'haya lechol lifdosam me'avonosam kedei sheyizku l'olam haba. So the method of punishment is different. I have a question. How can God judge us in the first place if we're his children? We said before that God couldn't give testimony on us that we kept the whole Torah a few days ago because we're his children, because it says B'ni B'chorei Yisrael. And so the God said, okay, fine, Shemayim Va'aretz will give testimony. No, Shemayim Va'aretz, heaven and earth, also can't give testimony because their whole kiyum, their whole existence is dependent on the fact that the Israelites keep the Torah, so they can't give testimony. So the nations themselves will give testimony. Come Nimrod and give testimony that Abraham didn't do idolatry, fine, etc. But how could God judge us if we're his children? Isn't it a little bit nogay b'davar? Isn't it a little bit like nogay b'davar? I don't know how to translate that. Maybe
can I
maybe
offer
Zoom.
an answer?
Yeah,
Can I offer an
shot,
answer?
please.
So we learn from Natan HaNavi, right? When he goes to David HaMelech and he gives him the mashal of the poor man and the rich man, and the poor man has one sheep. You know this analogy? You know this mashal that Natan HaNavi gives him?
Yeah. And he takes his only sheep or something.
Basically,
and David's like, oh, it's bad.
Yeah, basically David HaMelech ends up like poskening against himself without realizing it. So really, maybe it's that everybody is judging themselves based on how they judge others and how they judge themselves.
I hear, but I hear, but like this, I don't. I think the question still stands to still sligs. I think the question still stands. Like God is judging us. We just learned about like Yom Hadin, and so I think it's just a kasha. But you're saying that it's not. You're saying Sligs is saying like this. It's not that God is judging us. It's that like we are like doing it. And also we learned like a few days ago that we learned like on the first day, right? That like or maybe we learned this at a different time, not in this Masechta, but that like the items or like everything around the whole world will give testimony. Sligs is saying that we're judging ourselves. I gotta be honest, Pashut Leifa. I'd rather say I don't know than say a shot like that. But it's a good.
I too shelled the Navi. It was.
I know. Susa Slig shelling to a Navi is very geschmack, but
also like isn't that the idea of forgiving
I don't know if
on Yom Kippur, like or forgiving before Rosh Hashanah, like we're really like we're trying to be.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that you brought Sligs. It's a good thing you brought Yom Kippur because the davening of Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, the kol olam ba lefanav kibnei maron, we go past him like sheep, and he judges each one of us, right? Im kabanim im ka'avadim, right? And he's judging us. God is judging us, and so I think the Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah davenings makes the question even stronger and more spoken out. So it's good. It was a good sushel that you brought it.
Thank you, bro. Do we have to look into what is din? Like, do we have to look into what that is? That the word that's being used, and like, what does it mean, din?
Listen, yes, to really, really say like a full pshat, we would have to also explain like what's pshat and din, and it could be like I'm going to explain what this is, and in Toch Kedei I'm going to explain din. It could be an amazing mimer, but right now we're blibing, because, but we're blibing. We hear a good kasha, and we're blibing on it. So the judgment from the Israelites is like little by little, shmenakrim ka'ash be'ashpa. That's like pecking in a garbage. Ani mitzarfan v'cheshbon gadol. I am going to add them to a great cheshbon. to a great accounting. Shenemar im bepido lehu shua. And Shua. And Patrice, what do we say the end of that pasuk was? The verse? In bepido. If they cry out like
30:24.
Could be like when they cry out, 30:24.
Yeah, surely he would not strike at a ruin if in calamity one cried out to him. And that's from
Maybe it's like calamity. Okay. Amrlan. So wait, so Davar Acher, another way to understand this verse is Afilu Ein Yisrael Osin Mitzvah Lefanai Ki Im Ma'at Kepi Kitanagolim Shemenakrim Ba'ashva Ani Mitzarfan Lecheshbo Gadol Shenemar Im Bepido Lanshua. Even if the Israelites don't like do any mitzvahs, just a little bit like a pecking of a chicken, still I'm going to add it and combine it with a great amount.
3 minutes, just to let you know.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Davar Acher, B'schar shemishavim lefanai ani moshia osam. In the reward that they're crying out before me, I will save them. V'hainu da'amar Ravi Abba. This is what Rav Abba says. My dichsiv, what's pshat in pasuk? V'anochi epadem, I will save them. V'hema yidabru alai kazavim. I'm going to save them, and they're speaking about me. Disappointments. I will save them with their money in this world. I'll give them money in this world so that they will be able to sit and learn and do mitzvahs and not have to worry about money, and so that they can get to Olam Haba. And they spoke disappointments to me. And they spoke disappointments to me. Okay. Behind the Amar of Papa Mishmei the Rava. This is what Rav Papa in the name Rava says. This is a wild string. V'ani asarti chazakti zro osam. I made my arm strong. Ve'ela yechshavu ra. They thought bad about me. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, God says, Ani amarti isartem b'yisurim ba'olam hazeh. I gave you you had hard times in this world. Kadeshi yichzeku zor osam ba'olam haba. So you will be strengthened for the next world. Ve'elai yechshavu ra. But you thought, but the Israelites and the humans were yo, we don't like this so much. Don't make it so hard. But we the reason that we suffer in this world is so that we can strengthen and grow from it. We should always zochet to strengthen and grow, and be strong, and shteig, and always climb, and always face this world, and and just keep on moving. Got to keep moving. There's more music to make. Much love, everybody, from the Moonlight Shteig in Albania. Piggity, peace. Let me take my hat off. You guys see the moon?
Beautiful. We've got 1 minute.
Beautiful. We got 1 minute left. Anyone want to say a shtickle? Anyone want to say anything? Some closing words? Yo, Patrice, so close this out. Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Great.
Yo, much love. Thank you.
Great as usual. And that moon really is bright.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's interesting. The Israelites are compared to the moon, and the nations are compared to the sun. And since we're learning the Masechta of idolatry, maybe we'll come across that and we'll think about that idea. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Piggity peace. Lila Tov. Much love. Bye-bye.